Today we are talking about neoevolution. To describe this, we must look at the three human evolutionary paths. The first is to stop evolving altogether. The second is to continue to evolve naturally. The third, as described by Dr. Harvey Feinberg, is to control human evolution through genetic modification. The idea is to make us smarter, faster, more creative, and on and on. This is neoevolution. And this is not in the abstract. The capacity to do this is available. Paul Wolpe speaks to this, calling it evolution by design. Instead of the slow evolutionary changes we have seen up until this time, we have the power to radically and immediately change the course of evolution on a whim. Take prosthetic technologies, for example, the melding of man and machine. They can provide mobility to those who have lost the use of their limbs, or they can restore sight or hearing to those that have lost these senses. Up until now, those benefits have been the goal of the designers of this technology. But we have entered an age where this technology has become significantly advanced to be not just crude attempts at restoring lost functions, they also can be used to enhance human function. Instead of just restoring what we would consider normal sight, we can also enhance the level of sight provided. Think of an artificial eye that can resolve detail at the microscopic level, or see great distances with a telescopic lens. And if the technology were safe, would someone choose to replace their healthy eye with such a device? Or replace their arm with a prosthetic? Or have multiple prosthetics available for interchange based on the task at hand? We could take this to the extreme. Fukuyama gives us examples of extending human life to greater lengths. What if we remove the biological equation and just insert our self, our consciousness, into a machine? We could live forever, or as long as we wished, perhaps the lifespan of our brain, since all we need to do is maintain and replace damaged or worn parts. But are we making ourselves better humans, or just becoming less human? As Paul Wolpe discusses, we have the technology to create bodies, both animal and human. We are already doing this with animals. But this isn't as new as you might think. It began with the selective breeding, think of dogs. Man has created a modern dog through this process, although none of these breeds are naturally occurring. But this type of intervention took place over a length of time. The technology and the moral and ethical implications that are attached to do this is now available, with immediate results. Michael Best gives two examples of positive results of applying technology to the human condition. Johnny Ray, the stroke victim, is freed from his prison and able to communicate once again. Ashanti De Silva is given a normal life through gene therapy, freeing her from the constant fear of infection due to her compromised immune system. Both Wolpe and Best describe a topic we previously touched on earlier in the class, tech as control. Wolpe speaks of lower animals that can be controlled by humans through implants. Could this same technology be used to control people? Best relates the idea of allowing man to control technology, say aircraft, exoskeletons through implants. He also speaks of genetic enhancements that can improve the physical condition of man by design, not to cure a defect, but to enhance healthy bodies, in the same vein as what I described earlier with prosthetics. To this end, Best also touches upon the societal issues this technology brings about. Who gets the technology? How will those with or without the tech be viewed? What about human dignity? Are we beings or are we things? From my point of view, and looking back through history, the question of pursuing a technology, any technology, has two components. The first is the pursuit itself and gaining knowledge. We don't know what we don't know. It is human nature, and perhaps an evolutionary trait that has allowed us to get to where we are, to ask not only why, but why not. The real question we must answer, the second component, is what do we do with this knowledge, i.e. technology? The physicist Robert Oppenheimer, upon witnessing the first successful test of an atomic bomb, said that witnessing it made him think of a line from Hindu scripture, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." He also said that the group that witnessed it knew that the world would never be the same. But the world has learned to live with the bomb, and we've also harnessed the energy of the atom for our benefit. Think of creating electricity. The point of this is that we not so much learned to live with the bomb, we've also learned to live with the knowledge, the technology. Does neoevolution have the capacity to be destructive? Definitely can be, but it can also be beneficial. It has the potential to do this. Our first learnings in this class were around the social construction of technology and technology as a social force. The Scott approach showed us how man influences technology, and that is how I will answer this question, the question of should we pursue neoevolution? We should, because we will. If we say we shouldn't, The technology will be pursued, but it will go underground. We, as a species, need knowledge for knowledge's sake, but we also need to live with it. And the only way we can live with it, control it instead of it controlling us, is to be involved in its pursuit. In the examples I have given, we can see how technology can help people. That is why we have an obligation to pursue it. But we also have an obligation, as a society, to be its master and determine how it should be used.